share.
Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you for joining Sunshine Show this live stream. Today is Tuesday, and every Tuesday we have the panel, where we put some names to faces of our viewers and subscribers. Today we've got one of our Hall of Fame members, Rudy. We also have, I may have to put Esmeralda on as a Hall of Famer because she's so popular.
I
But
don't think so.
today we're just going to talk about some expat myths.
Okay.
Things that uh, are being said and believed about the Philippines that turn out to be not true. But of course, this is your live stream, so you can talk about anything you want to. And if you have any um, questions for our panel, direct them to the individuals. We're going to start with you, Rudy. Give us a little background on you and your connection to the Philippines.
Well, I think everybody knows that. Yes. My.
Well, not really, Rudy. Remember, we got new people on here.
Okay. So, my name is Rudy Magallanes. I live on Guam, but my parents are both from the Philippines. Came here and way back when. What you call this? My father came here in 1947. Then my mom came in '63. Then I was born in '64. So I've been living here all this time. We only go back to the Philippines when I was younger, when my father decided to take vacations there for 1 month each and every year because he works for Pan American World Airways. So I used to go back every year so that I could get to know my relatives and so forth. My relatives that we used to visit were from Bacoor, Cavite, which is a small province in right next to Manila. Actually, if you take the expressway there now, it takes you like 15 minutes. But before, it used to take you very, very, very much longer than like an hour or so. But I live on Guam, a small island here, only 3 hours away from the Philippines. And I did get married to a Filipina, and then she divorced me, as Calvin knows. But
Yeah.
I work for a university here on island, the University of Guam. I'm the IT support specialist, and my education goes as far as that I've been to the mainland, UH Manoa, which is in Hawaii, San Francisco, which I studied at Heel Tech, which is an electronic engineering school, and certain other places in the mainland my father used to send me.
We just wanted a little background for right now. We just want a biography, okay?
Sorry.
You can write your book later.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it, man. I've come to admire you, man. There's a lot about your story I'm going to ask you today because I think you're sugarcoating it.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go with Esmeralda. Just give us a little background. Do you have a YouTube channel, Rudy?
Actually, my son made one up with my name because
Yes, I know, Rudy. Do you have a YouTube channel?
It's posted, but I never usually put anything on it.
Okay. Because I wanted to put the link up. We were going to give you a shout out, but okay, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Esmeralda. Give us a little background and your channel, what's it about, and everything.
So, hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody. So, I just got out from my work, which is midnight, 12 midnight till 9 a.m. So, yeah, I'm a little bit sleepy, but yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, my name is Esme, and my vlog is Roger and Esme Vlogs, or Roger Esme Vlogs. And also, It's all about the Philippines. If you want more discussion about the Philippines and what to do and what not to do, so you can visit our channel. Please do. Please support us, guys. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a regular here in Sunshine Shoulders YouTube channel.
yeah, we appreciate it. I sent Roger a message. We'd like to take me and Marilyn would like to take you and Roger and your baby out to dinner one day this week. Just let us know. I don't know when's have you eaten over Mawani before?
Oh no, I actually Roger didn't take me anywhere here in San Carlos yet. I only know Mercado, which is a public market,
Oh,
and
okay.
City
Well,
Mall.
let us know. Send me a message and let us know what's a good day for you all. We'll take you to Mawani. They've got good food just to show our appreciation because you are a regular on here and uh,
Ah,
we don't take that for granted. But
ah.
what are some things, Esmeralda, that you've heard over the course of your life about the Philippines that aren't true?
I would say most of expats would be scared coming here in the Philippines. They would think that, oh, Philippines is a dangerous country, but it's not. It's not a dangerous country. Actually, all of the countries in the world are not dangerous. It depends on you. Where would you go? If you want to go to a country that has war or like a lot of gambling or anything that would be dangerous for you, that will be a dangerous area. But it's not a dangerous country.
Can I fill that whole screen up? Okay, well, thank you. See, that's a good one that I would like to let people know about because that's a question I get all the time, and that's going to be on my um, the next 20 questions and answers. Is the Philippines a a dangerous country? I'm trying to get this screen bigger, but I guess I can't do it. I addressed a couple of myths yesterday, and when I talk about a myth, it's just something that's gained so much traction and so many people have come to believe it to be true when it's not. Yeah, certain things like it's a myth going around that the Filipinos only like white men. Just stuff like that. And they've got, that you need a certain amount of money to live here. It's a myth that says you can't live here for $1,000 a month, but I think that's not true. Uh, I call the Philippines the working man's paradise. This is like blue collar heaven. God set aside a place for the working man like me to be able to come and live and create a new life. Hold on, I'm just getting up. You can't, you can't play that YouTube. I'm sorry, one of my, and it's messing with me. I can't. What I was going to do was send you the StreamYard link and then have you get on here. So yeah, that's why you delay, but it really messes us up. What about you, Rudy? Is there anything you heard about the Philippines that
No,
isn't
that's.
true? A
I
myth?
mean, when you discuss that, I do believe that it depends on where you're going to stay or live, or how high your expenditures are going to be. Because you can live comfortably in the province. I know for like $500 to even $1,000 in retirement. My father used to do it, and so forth like that way back when, and he told me that you could. But of course, when you start going to the city, which is Manila and BGC or any one of the big cities, then well, your expenditures are going to go up, and then if that's the kind of lifestyle you want, then of course that's what you got to spend for it. But if you want a simple lifestyle, just uh, what you call this, staying in a small house or even a small place, or even in a province like your house, Calvin. I mean, come on. When you walk outside, where else can you find like food and anything else that you need. I mean, how can you not like that? Here on Guam, everywhere that I go, I have to actually drive a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard in Guam that it's like all that you do, you really need to travel.
Yeah, you need a car. If you don't have a car, you're in big trouble. There's no bus system. Our bus system is, oh, forget it. It's not even
Okay,
worth it.
let me ask you, Esmeralda, is 50,000 pesos a month budget, is that enough to live in San Carlos?
That's a lot.
So that would be considered 1,000 US dollars. So I just want y'all to listen to Esmeralda, I'm sorry, because she hasn't been corrupted. She's just you know, a Filipino citizen, has been here her whole life. And she said that's a lot of money. $1,000, 50,000 pesos is a lot that you have coming in every. What could you do with that, Esmeralda? Would that change your life?
I would say if I would have, or I'm renting. I guess 25,000 is already good for monthly expenses if you're living in a city. But
Trying to
if you're
call it.
living in a province, like say for
No,
example the
no,
one that Rudy actually explained, of
no.
course,
Trying to call
$1,000 is already a high amount of money. So I would say if you're living in the city, 25,000 or 30,000 a month is already enough for you to stay in the city in San Carlos.
it. And that's, if anybody doesn't know, that's between $500 and $600 a month. Of course, it just depends on your lifestyle. Um, if you don't go crazy, see, John, he said he did his budget and it averaged out to be $1,750 a month. That's his lifestyle and some of his living expenses. Uh, but to say that you can't come here for less than 3,000, that's crazy. Now, of course, you want to put some aside for your visa fees. Your I wouldn't come over here without any health insurance. And if you don't have any, after 59 consecutive days in the Philippines, and you get your ACR card, you do qualify for field health. And it's not the best insurance, but it's better than nothing. Uh, Now, I think it's different from us than it is with the Filipino citizen because when Booby was born, Booby was in the hospital for 7 days. Marilyn was in the hospital for 3 days. This included everything, the doctor fee, the prescriptions, the room and board, everything. I ended up paying 16,000 pesos after uh, Phil Health kicked in. So it's a good insurance, man. I mean, it's better than nothing. But you have to consider that. Thank you, Erlin God, for the super chat. He says, hello, Calvin and panel. Says a little help with the good work you're doing during the pandemic. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Um, Another myth that is going around out there, and the panel, you can chime in on this if you want to. Is that all Filipinos want a foreigner? See, that's a myth, but it's one that people want to believe. It's something that it's easy to believe, but it's just not true. It's a myth. Uh, what do you think about that, Esmeralda?
Like the question is, Calvin, the myth is what again? Can you again ask a question?
Okay. The myth is it's a myth that all Filipinos they want a foreigner.
They want a foreigner?
Right,
They don't
all
want.
Filipinos want a foreigner. Is that true or false?
Really depends. There are people that likes to marry a foreigner. There are people that don't want to marry a foreigner. So
Right,
say for
right. But I'm
example,
saying, no, no,
uh
listen to me. The myth is all Filipinos want foreigners. Is that true or not?
no, not all. So for all Filipinas, especially for the same age as me, I'm 29, guys. So um it's actually there are Filipinas that want to have a foreigner because of financial stabilities, but there are also Filipinas that doesn't want to have a foreigner because they think that they would become slaves. They will become a nanny. They don't want to be a caregiver.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. See, that's you're touching on something now, uh, and that's important that we hear it from you instead of me. Yeah, a lot of they think that's what's going to happen. They don't want to take care of an old man, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because they would think that, oh, okay, okay, I have a foreigner husband that is like 30 years apart from me. And most Filipinos would think that, oh, she's just in it for the money. She's not in it for the love. It's like that in the Philippines. They would judge you right away. They would backlash you every now and then. Every Filipinos are like that.
Yeah. So it's a stigma. Is it a stigma still?
Yes. Still up
Okay.
until now.
Yeah. And see, that's the nitty gritty right there. We think that I did a video before. We think that it's okay with everybody over here. No, it's tolerated, but it's not really okay. People don't really agree with it, but they tolerate it. And as long as you stay under the radar and don't cause any problems, you're not gonna have nothing's gonna ever be said. But yeah, it's not something that everybody agrees with. They don't want their 20-year-old daughter who has a bright future to be running around shacked up with a 55-year-old man. Uh, but it just depends. But yeah, Todd Johnson says, do expats get skin tax? They do. If you go somewhere where the prices aren't clearly marked on the items, if you go to the market, I've been in San Carlos for over 2.5 years. If I go to the market right now, and the people know me, without Maryland, I'm going to get charged more than what they would charge the normal Filipino. Uh, it's just how it is. So if you're over here, I would manage the money. I would give the money to my girlfriend. She always goes to the market, not me. But yeah, most definitely, you're going to get skin tax over here because
Yep.
they in their mind you can afford it. You got money and you can afford it.
Oh yes, I agree,
Man,
Calvin.
I'm going to say this: don't haggle with the people over here. If you're going to pay a few extra pesos, go ahead and pay it. All right, don't haggle too much over here because you got to understand the situation and where they're coming from. And then you can actually cause them to lose faith when you do that. And that's big over here. Hey, Tito Chai says, my own Boontalk brother Calvin and the panel. He said, thanks to all the guys and ladies here. Yeah, a lot of people didn't show up today. I sent out a lot of invitations. Maybe they were busy. Um, when you came over here, Rudy, when's the last time you've been here, Rudy?
2 years ago.
Have you ever had the skin tax applied to you?
Oh yes, because of the fact that my English is has an accent. Because
Oh, okay.
when I speak English, it's the proper English or what you call English that they hear from America. So my vowels and my sounds are quite different. So, but then of course, when they find out that I can speak Tagalog, well, that kind of scares them off, and they start talking to me in a way that like, oh, I better. He understands me, so I better talk to him in a different fashion or a different way. But when I approach them in the beginning, they kind of like look at me in a strange way because I speak English in that kind of fashion. Especially when I bring my son over. Well, he speaks all English, so when he speaks to you, it's like totally an American way of thinking. So everybody would look at me and him and say, "Oh yeah, we can get a lot from them because of the fact that they're they're talking like that." But when when my son speaks to me, of course, everybody listens to him the way a Filipino does. Oh yeah, we can get stuff. But when I talk to them, says, "Oh, you don't know I speak Tagalog? Marunong ako mag-usap sa'yo ng Tagalog eh." Right? And then they look at me like, "Oh, I better think of this in a different fashion because he can speak and he can listen and he knows what I'm talking about." I go, "Yes, I know very much." But of course, if I go to my cousins and relatives in Davao, well, that's a different story because they talk Visayan and I kind of don't know
Wow.
that kind of way.
Hey, Marlo North, send me an email, Marlo. I couldn't find you today. I was going to send you the link. I wanted you to join us today, and I couldn't find your email. I want to say good evening to the NTZ crew because most of them are overseas. John, I don't think he's on here because he just moved into his new apartment, and I think he's got internet yet. He moved into our old house, and I tell you that's we got the Filipino shuffle on that one. Now, what they did was okay. Instead of giving us back our full deposit, you know that they took out for paint and labor to paint the
Wow.
outside of that house. Of course, we never. They didn't do that for us. When we moved in, it was all faded and jaded like it was when we left. But they took that money out of that. And I was like, wow, I was really shocked about it. But it's no big deal, man. That skin tax right there. I mean, they have your
Uh,
um, deposit. I mean, what can you do?
mhm.
But yeah, we got the skin tax on that one, brother, and I was kind of shocked about that. Hey, Ron Bizzle, thanks for stopping by. Life, joy, adventure says good morning, team nitty gritty. Uh, Freemaster Calvin, you said that a Filipino dating a co-worker while being with you is not seen as wrong because of culture. What? No, 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 no. Wait. What is that? Okay in Filipino culture? Tell me that isn't so. No, what I meant to say was it's not so much a co-worker. What I mean is when the Filipino moves on from you and she's in America, she doesn't realize that she's offending you by dating a coworker or a neighbor or even somebody in your family. She doesn't know our culture over there. It's like it takes a while for us to know their culture over here. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm saying that she doesn't realize that if you bring your Filipino to America and y'all split up and she happens to meet a guy and he's your coworker, she doesn't think she's doing anything wrong. That's what I was saying. Tito Chart said Rudy is a Sunshine Show's Hall of Fame, but he's a genuine good guy, Calvin. Yeah, he is. He's. Uh, that's why I had him on again today. What's up, Levon White? I hope you're feeling better. But yeah, I got a lot of pushback on that video I made yesterday. Um, and really, what I was just trying to say with this, guys, I was trying to say that everybody doesn't come over here with those expectations. Most of us have simple um, requests. We just want somebody, a companion, somebody that is honest, that respects us. But there's some expat divas out there now who are trying to mess it up for everybody. Doug Carr said the Sunshine Shoulders, did you position your mic differently? No, why are you saying that? I'm using my girlfriend's phone, and I think it has a lot. It has a better speaker than my phone and my computer. Marlo No says that me as a child looking younger. Maybe because I shaved yesterday.
Calvin, can I address something?
Sure.
Okay, you know what? When you and Esme discussed regarding the how the Filipino is and what what you might call they don't want them to take care of older people and so forth like that. You guys are right regarding that the rumors in a specific place or so forth are not there. They don't want to come out, but of course, they're tolerated. But as you know, like what Esme said, they really don't want that kind of atmosphere in that area, because I know of fact what in my province alone in Bacoor Cavite, everybody was discussing how this lady who was had two children and was the person passed away, her husband passed away, and so she was going to the internet cafe next door and chatting with this naval personnel who was really old. And next thing I know, when I came back the following year, she was married to that guy, right, who was in his 60s and in a wheelchair. And what happened is that the following year after that, there was a house, complete house made out of cement, a two-story house, and the person was that naval personnel was outside of that on the second floor, and the person was taking care, and the two kids went to
Keep
a
going,
very
Rudy.
private school.
Right now.
Okay,
Keep going.
so
Keep
that
talking.
when she went to when the two kids were going to the private school, of course, as you know, they were being taken care of by that personnel, and it was amazing to see the transformation of that lady who was everybody thought was because she was her husband was dead to someone that just came alive, and all she did was just take care of that guy until he passed away. Then everything that was his, including his pension, transferred to her.
Yeah, that's the thing about Filipinos. They would take advantage of guys that has insurance,
Oh
or
yeah,
what do you call that? Yeah.
but like
Um,
like I said, that she took care of him very well, as in she stayed with him constantly 24 hours a day. I asked my cousins and my relatives, how is that guy doing? Oh, I mean, the Filipina just takes care of him no matter what, and the kids come home, hi dad, and so forth, because they go to a private school. Now she has a nice house, two-story house made out of cement, and wow, it's like, and the guy just okay.
uh,
And
we're like this, Rudy. We are types of people that if you try to give us something, and we're the type of people that would honor that. So we would also give. So if you give something from us, we would also give something to you.
oh
The
yes.
thing about new generations right now, especially my age, it's like for us, a lot of people would think, why would she dated a guy that is like the same age as his father or older? She has more guys that she can date, the same age as her. It's like that. Because in the Philippines, we are consist of younger generation. We only have limited old people, and for us, old people are 50s, 50 above. It's not the same as other countries, but for me, of course, I'm open-minded already because I spoke to Japanese people, and my students are 60 above, and they look younger.
Yeah. Uh, another. Oh well, Chriselle Sebastian said, "Good morning, grapes and bread for breakfast. What's yours?" I haven't eaten yet. A lot of times I try to get as close to 12 o'clock as I possibly can before I eat, and I just do that because I've already broke. It's not like I'm fasting or anything because I put sugar in my coffee. So, but I haven't eaten anything yet.
Me too.
But another myth is that only old foreigners are over here dating my red ones. The red ones that plug in here are only over here dating young Filipinos. Like when you think about the Philippines, you always think about some 75 or 80-year-old man walking around on a cane with a 20-year-old Filipino. That's just not true. What it really is over here, what you see mostly of is men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and usually they're with women like uh, Esmeralda's age and maybe a little older. See, I'm 58, my girlfriend's 39. You see mostly like that. But yeah, you do see the cringe factor over here, but most of the time It's not. You know, if you see John and his girlfriend, they don't look out of, you know, you're not going to do any second take. It's like John is super old. Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not
Well,
like
I'm
John is
Calvin.
sure.
super old.
Calvin, remember my marriage? I married my ex when she was 19, and I was 41.
Yeah, okay, but that's still not that bad because you don't look old now, Rudy. So at 41, I'm pretty sure you look old. I mean,
Oh
you look
yeah, yeah.
younger. Yeah,
Trust
it's
me,
not like you were.
when I was going to high school and college, when I was going to college at UH Manoa in Hawaii, I looked like I belong in high school.
Yeah, I put on
Everybody
my
thought,
earphones. I put on my earphones so I can hear y'all better because I'm on this phone and I can't really hear. So if you was wondering why I did that.
oh Jeff is considering. You're gonna get a what sticker shock when you come to my island.
Yeah. Mr. K says, "Good morning, Calvin. Just watched your high quality video. Respect. Thank you." Now, Esmeralda, since you've been coming on my channel and you got your own YouTube channel, do you get hit on by men a lot? Do they try to come on to you and say, "Hey, why don't you leave Roger and I can give you this and give you that"?
I would say there are actually friend requests more. When I actually visited your channel, Calvin, I had a lot of friend requests from foreigners already. They're not hitting on me, but yeah, you know the drill.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how that works. And I'm glad you handle it good. Uh,
Yeah. It's not the first time.
yeah, yeah. But you said when you were on the dating site, though, not too many men approached you, right?
Yeah, because I look like a 13-year-old when I was in college. Because I was so tiny.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm fully bloomed. So I guess I'm a little bit attractive now, maybe.
You know, it's funny, but you and Roger, you're both are bigger than the typical Filipinos because when did we see you at the city mall? Was that yesterday or the day before?
That was the day before.
Well, see, before I saw y'all talking to Maryland, when I was going into the mall, I saw y'all get out of the tricycle, but I didn't know it was you and Roger. And I was like, well, what? Y'all look like foreigners. You and Roger did. That's how big, you know, y'all don't look like the typical Filipino.
Yeah. I would say Roger is buff because always go to the gym most of the time. That's the reason why his physical appearance is much bigger than a typical Filipino. For me, I quit doing jiu-jitsu and taekwondo. That's the reason why I gained weight.
Oh, okay. Superstar Jones he says, all due respect, but where is she from? She's gorgeous. Well done, Roger. So where are you from, San Carlos City, Esmeralda?
I'm from Cebu.
Oh, wow. Well, see, that's why I tell people all the time, that's one of my favorite places. And just in my humble opinion, I think they have um, some of the nice looking women. I guess because I spent my first 2 years there, but you look like somebody from Cebu because, like I said, you're bigger than, you don't look like a typical Filipino. But he
I'm pure
says,
Filipina.
uh, okay, let's see. Yeah, Maxima says Ismi is a cutie. Now, what's your next video about, Esmeralda?
The previous video that we actually talk about is the things that like what is the normal or the like common works here in the Philippines that you need to know? Like, say for example, also other than that is about marriage. Like, if you want to date or if you want to marry a single mom. So we're actually providing information about that. Things that you want to know more about the rules and restriction in the Philippines.
No, I mean your latest video. What's it
the
about?
the latest video that we made is the like the common work here in the Philippines, the
Oh,
common
okay.
jobs in the Philippines.
Muchi T, are you getting a lot of feedback from me now because I put this on because I can take them off? But was that from earlier when? See, one of my I had a visitor here. I was going to put her on the panel, and she was sitting there listening to the live stream on YouTube. Hey, thanks, Free Man, for the super chat. He said, "Hey, Calvin, but are there high quality women?" I'm using sarcasm. A feminine woman is high quality. Thanks for using common sense. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. What is the definition of a high quality woman? It doesn't make sense to me. It's sort of like um, the beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. What you would consider a high quality woman to me would be somebody who's got good morals, good standards, doesn't get, pissy drunk and, is responsible, that sort of thing. I mean, but these guys, they're putting this stupid, superficial stuff as far as, what kind of job she has, what kind of degree she has. It's more or less this, my girlfriend is better than yours. It's like they're competing. It's like, oh, you can't come over to the Philippines. They're trying to make us look bad, like, oh, we can't come over here and get a high quality woman, whatever that is. We have to settle for the lower socioeconomic women. And I'm thinking like, well, what are you talking about? I mean, that's being so crazy that, I mean, 99% of the people watching my channel, we don't come over here for that type of foolishness. I mean, a young, beautiful Filipina who's honest, who's loyal, committed to you, that's not enough. We got to put this other stuff on top of it, man. Come on, guys. That's what I was trying to get at.
It really
Um,
depends on how you preview a high quality woman. If it's in
yeah,
your standard, yeah, that's a high quality woman. It really depends on your perspective.
right. It's right. I mean, but they raised the standard so far. I'm like, well, you might as well go to Wellington, New Zealand or some crazy place like that. I stay in America. Because if the men that come here to meet women, because everybody doesn't come here to meet women, but the ones that do, very seldom do they have all of that superficial stuff. Because remember, a lot of us are well past our prime by the time we get here. We're in the third and fourth quarter of our life. We're looking for something different. We're not trying to come over and find a Western woman, a Western Filipino, for sure. I mean, you know, and that's all I'm saying.
Ah, okay. So he's asking for a high quality submissive woman that supports her partner. Okay. Are you referring to independent woman by any chance?
Yeah, I
Oh.
guess. And be careful what you ask for over here in the Philippines because you'll get it. If that's what he wants, he's going to be real sorry. He'll have his
Yeah,
butt right back on that plane, uh, back to wherever he came from.
it's true.
Okay.
I would agree with Calvin too, because for high quality women, independent women, alpha females, they would really discuss about what you need to do.
The bleed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
yeah,
bleed
yeah.
out.
They're going to drive him crazy, and the red flags are going to be going up everywhere. He's not going to be able to have them. He's going to spend a lot of money. And I came over here for something different, and I found it. I didn't come over here for one a westernized woman. Thanks, Ron Bizzle, for that super sticker. Uh, the qualities that Filipinos have that we like, there's still some innocence over here in the Philippines that I
Yes.
think has been lost in America. That's one of the things that I like. Um, uh, Cliff and Rue, thanks for stopping by. He says, my criteria is love me the way I love you, respectful, family oriented, and good friend. Yeah. And see, this could be all over the place. I look at Esmeralda and say, she's a high quality woman. I look at my girlfriend, Marilyn, and say, she's a high quality woman, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about my girlfriend's better than yours. One guy was on here the other day said, "Oh, she's got a degree and she's been working at PGH for 10 years." And I'm like, okay, so she earns $300 a month. I'm supposed to be impressed by that? It doesn't impress me. Most of us come over here, we just want a companionship, friendship. Like Cliff said, we want somebody that's going to love us the way we love them. I love hard, by the way. Hey, Ron Bizzle, thanks for the super chat. He said 2108, brother Calvin. Thanks. What's that mean? Kiss, keep it simple. Now, they live in either you live in the Philippines. I know you're married to a Filipina. He says many high expectations are like Madonna girls. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I've seen them over here, and you really don't like that, guys. I would just want the typical Filipina. I'm more in line with her because she's old fashioned. I'm old fashioned. Um, and that's what I like. I like a simple woman. I don't want anybody that's got to have the latest fashion all the time, and it's going to get on my nerve. We got to go to Boracay every week. I don't like that. You know, because if she feels that way, then she's really going to be embarrassed around you. If she thinks she's all that, then she's not going to be want a 65-year-old man tagging along with her all the time. I mean, it's just how it is. Curtis Eugene Thomas says a girl like her, if she was over here after a few years, she would start acting with an attitude, no smile, and being mean like these American women. Well, it don't take them long, that's for sure. But see, that's the point of coming over here. Michael Dorsonville, let me read that what he says. I'm sorry, Michael. He says I'm 46. Yeah, he says I'm still in my prime. I'm only 46. I have a long way to go. Yeah, but but like I said, a lot of the guys that come over here and stay, that are able to stay, Michael, we're older than 46. And we won't see, it's a double standard. I did a video on that about the double standards of dating over here. We want a beautiful young Filipino that's 20, 25 years younger than us. But then we don't want to look at it from the other side. She's got standards too. Some of us need to look in the mirror and be honest with ourselves and say, hey, you're not Prince or Michael Jackson, by the way. And there's nothing wrong with having standards, guys, but, I think it's just a double standard when you expect the Filipino to accept you, but you can't accept her all the way, brother. Now, is any marriage in the plans for you and Roger Esmeralda? Have y'all talked about that?
When it comes to marriage, Calvin, we just really need to settle down when it comes to the house. Like we have dreams the same as you do. We want also to reach that dream. We were actually so thankful that we are here in your live stream because at that actually point we actually are thankful that we met you because at that point our YouTube channel really had a lot of I would say it's not popular, but we also have new subscriber from foreign countries, so we're really thankful for that. And before the marriage, I really want to have like a small house, our own land, because I don't want to rent anymore. Because, renting just costs us a lot of money. Like our basic salary is deducted every month instead of like saving it for the future of our baby. So, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
So
later.
what's your plans, Rudy? Do you plan on relocating here? Are you just gonna marry and take the woman back and make her join the service again? Are you gonna do that again, Rudy?
No, no, no. This time for sure, I'm gonna
I'm
retire
gonna
there.
send you. I'm gonna send you the
After
link
10 years,
on
after 10
your.
years here, I will retire
Yeah.
there and find a small place.
Tell
Do you
Marilyn to
remember,
come
Calvin,
here.
I do have land in Masbate, in Aurora, in Masbate to be exact, 1 hectare of land, but of course, some people live on it, so I have to find a way to either sell it or and then
Yeah.
invest it in something else and so forth like that. But I already have everything planned. I just have to get ready to retire and make sure that I have enough for retirement to live a
Okay, come
comfortable
here.
life and so forth. Even though my house here in Guam is paid for and
I
so
want
forth
to
like that, which I'm
send.
going to give to my son,
Okay.
and
I'm
so that
gonna.
he can have a place to stay, also me to come back for.
I want to invite a guest. I'm trying to invite another guest, guys. I'm trying to. It's a different setup on this stupid phone, and that's where it's got me screwed up. See, on my laptop, it'll have it right there. It'll
uh,
have me able to invite a guest, but on here, on this phone, I can't find it. Let me see. I can't. That's okay. I can't do it. There's got
Um,
to be some kind of way to make this screen bigger.
if you want,
It's not.
Calvin, I could just send that person a link.
Okay, send the link. Send that link to Maryland. Send
Maryland.
it to Maryland's messenger. Are you friends
Maryland.
with
Yeah.
Kalmar, Sunny Shutters? Send her the link, and then I'll get it from there and send it to our guest.
Yeah, sure. That will be
Thank you.
easier for you, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Cal Deb, I'm glad you could join us. Yeah, Brian Nichols said alpha female, attractive, can, easy to get along with. I think we all have our own standards, what we're looking for. Doug Carr said, get the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, y'all know that helps me. Spoken in plain English says, who are your guests, Calvin? Well, we have our Hall of Famer, Rudy. How you pronounce your last name, Rudy?
Magallanes.
Magallanes.
Yeah,
And then we have,
no, but
then
that's
we
the
have,
pronunciation.
huh?
The Tagalog version of it is Magallanes.
Okay. And Esmeralda, what's your last name, Esmeralda?
It's also a Spanish last name, Gagani.
Kagani?
Gagani.
Oh, Gagani. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, do you have any Spanish in your family?
No. Pure Filipino, but I don't know my ancestors because they say if they would look at me, I look like a Spanish person in real life.
Yeah.
Mestiza. In other
I'm
words,
pretty sure
mestiza.
if you go back far enough, there has to be. The Spanish were here for 350 years. You know,
Maybe.
yeah. Because you don't look like the typical Filipino. You look like you could be mixed with something, like
I don't know.
European or something. Because
Calvin,
I
you're a
just
lot bigger. Even your features don't look the same. But
there's
Moochie T has a question for you, Esmeralda. He says, Calvin, if much older men marry younger women, what happens if her needs are not met? Can Esmeralda address this? So what do you mean her needs? You mean physically? Um, okay, address that. I guess that's what he's talking about, Esmeralda. If an
okay.
older man marries a younger Filipina and her physical needs aren't being met, what's going to happen?
Okay, so let's go with physical. Of course, if you're 60, 70, of course, you can't make love to her anymore, I guess. That's not active, maybe. It depends on your physical active. For if we call it financially, so financial reason, if you can't support a Filipina, of course, they would leave you.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean,
the.
even
Mhm.
physically. So you're saying that she would probably, from what I see over here, I see that they find a Filipino boyfriend. And some of them even have other foreign men come in behind the back of the a husband or boyfriend. Um,
Yeah, they
it
would
doesn't make
try.
them different than anybody else. I'm just saying this is what I've seen, Moochie G. Um, my next door neighbor over there where I used to live, a lot of that was going on in his situation. He's in his 70s. I think she's 30. And I believe she's got a Filipino boyfriend, scratching her itch.
Yeah, if physically, when it comes to physically, of course, they would ask or they would search for someone that can give that to them, of course. But not all of Filipinos are like that, that they can
Right.
um, backstab their partner. Some of them would just directly break up with their partner because they're not giving the needs of what we need. Especially for
Yeah.
me, I'm 29, so of course I want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Of course. Now, is it easy to, I want you to answer this, Esmeralda. Even though I'm living with a Filipina and she's, you know, pretty easy uh, to take care of. How is it? What do men need to do to to get along with a Filipina and to, uh, I guess, take care of her? What does she? What is her needs?
Basically, Filipinos are really easy to read because we don't really have that high standards compared to Western women. Because if you would compare us to Western women, we don't really socialize a lot. If you would just give food to our table, that's already it. You give us comfort, you give us your love, you give us like if you would respect us, you would understand us. That's the only thing that we need. And you would understand because we are emotional compared to Western. We we love to be pampered too, especially emotionally.
Uh, yeah, I know that's a fact, and that's one thing we have to be careful of. And I did a video on that about when we raise our voice, even though we're not trying to be mean, but when you raise your voice, oh my God, it's a
Yeah,
whole other
Calvin,
story.
I've experienced that with my ex, and to be frank with you, as being Americanized here all the time, hearing my parents and so forth in the long term, my mother and my father used to never get mad at each other. They just, downplay it. Of course, I learned how to yell and scream and so forth like that, being here all the time. But being with my ex, I I learned not to yell because it hurt her so much. So I had to temper my anger and so forth like that. So I learned how
Yeah,
to be more kind and considerate to everything that she said, no matter how
it
bad
takes
it got.
yeah it takes a while to do that too because
Yes,
we're
it did.
very impatient. Because
Uh,
I met an American the other day, and he said he rarely goes outside because he has, just to avoid the I guess the confrontations that come about from our impatience. So he doesn't go out a lot. He doesn't want, he says that his wife thinks that he's being argumentative, but he's really not. He's just doing what's normal in America, but what's normal in America, hurts a lot of feelings over here, uh,
yeah.
and you're going to see that when you get over here. He made a point. He said a lot of times when you go in these stores and different places like that, He said Filipinos just don't have any authority. They can't make any decisions right there that's going to help you. And that's kind of frustrating over here. Black Diamond says, "Wake up, gentlemen. She just made it loud and clear. Without finance, they will leave you. Love has nothing to do with it." Well, I think initially that may be the attraction, but there's
It
a lot of
depends.
people that find love over here.
It really
Um,
depends. It really
yeah,
depends. If you
cool.
connect to that person,
Yeah, I think it is. She's going to give you the chance to see if there's a connection because Filipinos, they look for that spark. They look for that connection. And if you don't have that, I'm sorry.
bye.
It's not going to happen. They really look for that, you
Yes.
know, and they don't give you a whole lot of time for that.
No, like
Cool,
Calvin,
you,
like what you said,
huh?
Calvin. They need proof by they need proof by when you show up in front of the doorstep, so that they know that you're actually there. Just like what you said.
Yeah.
Cool, you, Buffalo Dan said, Roger better put a ring of engagement at least when that border opens. Esmeralda is going to be attacked by wolves. But you know,
I
one
don't.
thing I can say about Philippines in my experience, boots on the ground experience, is they're loyal, man. They're loyal, and if she really loves Roger, I don't think he's got anything to worry about. But see, I don't know. I don't know Esmeralda's feelings or whatever um, is going on in her, what she's thinking. But I know that yeah, she's going to have already. She says she gets a lot of, especially after being on my channel, she gets a lot of friend requests and different things like that. Free man says, Esmeralda, you want that? I got that. Whatever that is.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Okay, he's got a question. Superstar Jones says, Esmeralda, what do Filipinos really think about black men? He's asking you
We
that.
we have actually a YouTube channel, a video about that. Actually, to tell you honestly, don't actually it's a little bit. I don't want to be rude or something, but I'm just direct to the point. For me, I like guys that are black. Actually, that's the first thing that I like is the skin tone. But most Filipinas like white, because in the Philippines, we we actually don't like black. We like white. So most of the time, there are Filipinas that would say, "Oh, uh, they would get stunned, they would get surprised. Sometimes they're scared of seeing a black person." Yeah, to tell you
Because,
honestly.
but it's a difference though. It's not because of race. It's more of class, right?
Yes.
Because you know, if they ever have any chance of being Miss Universe or being on television or something like that, which is no different than any other country, really. If you go to places like, if you go to Brazil, when I was in Brazil, if you go to Colombia, these are black people over, by the way. They always have, when you see the billboards, they're always going to have the lighter skin, almost white looking Brazilians and Colombians. It's the same thing in America, you know. It's just how it is. But as far as racially, see, I've never had any problems um, with women. Uh, I've never seen that. Filipinos, they're not that shallow. They're more or less are going to look at you based on your character. They don't really care because a lot of this, especially this new generation, see, the old generation, they thought that all white people were rich. But see, now with Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, they know that not to be true now. So they're looking at it more like, hey, you know, is he going to take good care of me, or is he going to mistreat me? I want a
Yes.
man that smells good. You know, see, that's real important to Filipinos, your personal hygiene. You can't just come over here and think that, everything's going to be okay. You got to take a bath. Hey, Franz
Yeah.
Prascio Jr., thanks for the super chat. He said, what's up, Calvin? He said, I love your channel, and especially the last video you uploaded. A lot of guys are so unrealistic. Yeah, and I don't understand it. And then when they get over here, they throw all that out the window, man. They want to argue is what they want to do. If you come, just think about how foolish that is to come to the Philippines looking for an affluent woman. Why would you do that? When you know that's not uh, what men come over here for. We want a beautiful, young, beautiful woman who's loyal, who's committed. Most of us, who's honest and trustworthy. We don't really care if she has a college degree or not, if she ever has a job or not. But some people do, and that's fine. We all have standards. Hey, Mud Buggy, thanks for the super chat. He says, can I stay there on the tourist visa and keep renewing? Absolutely. Up until 36 months, Mud Buggy. Then once the 36 months is up, you have to leave the country for one day, come back and start the 3 years all over again. Philippines has the most liberal visa policy probably in the whole entire world. I don't know of anybody. I've got a friend right now. She's in Mexico, and she says when you arrive in Mexico, they determine right then and there if they're going to give you 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, but 6 months at the most. Then you got to get out of there. And that's one thing I don't like about Thailand. I think you gotta do all this paperwork before you even go there. With the Philippines, you don't. Your passport is good enough. Your valid passport with at least 6 months, remaining before it expires. That's all you need to get in here. You don't have to apply beforehand, and then that gets you, I think, 30 days in Thailand. Then you can apply again for 60 days. But I think you only stay there for like 90 days. I don't want that. I don't want to be doing all of that. Oh, okay, Janessa. This is John, by the way. It's his girlfriend. She said after they got started, about 2 hours later, they really worked hard and fast. So are you in there, John? And that's crazy, John. You see they painted that house, right? They took that money for that paint and the workers out of my deposit to paint that house. Imagine that. That's crazy. Oh yeah, they said that you speak great English, Esmeralda, better than a lot of us. Because most of us speak slang anyway. Hey, Kano, he says, hey fellas, I'm back. Well, give us the lowdown on Nicaragua, man. Should we go or should we stay? Michael Dorsonville says, does Esmeralda have family from Zamboanga?
I don't know. We have a lot of families all throughout the Philippines. We have in Manila, Mindanao, and Cebu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So basically. So will a
Uh,
Filipino be just
okay,
friend
yeah, go
to
ahead. Tom,
will
go
a
ahead.
Filipino will a Filipino be just friend to a man without needing an emotional connection? We're friendly, yes. We're really friendly, but don't get to the point that you would like directly talk to us right away because we get scared right now and then.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm glad you said that. Yeah. But he's saying, will you just be a friend to him without needing an emotional connection? Can y'all just be friends? And because that's one thing I see here. Men and women hang out and they go out together and they call them batches over here. There's no romantic connection. You just go to the beach and eat and drink and then everybody goes their own way, right?
yeah, That's right. I would say that there's a lot of people that would be, we're not actually the same as Muslims that you cannot talk to guys. There are rules and restrictions about Muslim religion, but for Filipinos, Catholic, any type of religious people in the Philippines, not Muslims, they can actually gather together with their friends. That's especially in the call center industry. We're much more liberated than regular people, I guess.
Love Beat Muse, he says, aka DJ Kenny Hollywood. How are you? He says, hey, Brother Calvin, I just tuned in. Esmeralda is my kind of beautiful. On that note, her explanation about not marrying Roger sooner than later seems to keep the door open for another single man. Uh, uh, this says single mom, a single man. I don't understand. Um, but one thing I can tell you is that it's what I tell you. When you come over here, you're going to see so many women like Esmeralda. Now, will they be as down to earth and friendly as she is? More than likely they are, but don't run up on them because you're going to scare them to death. It's probably easier if you get introduced. Now, you got some single friends. Do you have single friends, Esmeralda?
Yeah, I have single friends that has the same age as me or older.
So it would probably be good if, say, for instance, if somebody said, you got friends with somebody and they came over here to St. Carlos and said, hey, Esmeralda, can you introduce me to one of your friends? That would
Yeah.
probably be the best way, right?
Yes, that's the most friendliest way possible. Because if you try to say, "Hi, I'm John," it's like, no, you can't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
That's too
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. But see, this is where I tell guys a lot of our Western thinking doesn't work over here. One guy says, Christoph Wolfgang says, well, I am Western. I said, yeah, but some of that stuff doesn't work. And that's one thing that doesn't work over here now. If you walk up to a Filipino and you say, hey, my name is Calvin, blah, 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 and she responds back, that's a red flag because most of them are going to be scared to death. They're going to run. They're not going to
Yeah,
say anything to you.
yeah,
But if
that's true.
one
We would drown.
yeah, but if one of them stops and talks to you and is really interested, man, that's a red flag right there. Uh, Cal Dedman says, hell, when I was broke so long ago, I didn't like me. Yeah, that's a fact. But I tell you, man, you don't want to be broke in the Philippines simply because it's so much to do over here, and it's cheap to do it. Now, if you were gonna be broke, then this is also a good place to be because there's a lot of free stuff you can do. Remember that video that I made where me and John, we were coming back from Bacalit and we stopped at that waterfall? It's so many stuff, it's so many things like that to do over here. It didn't cost us anything. John just stopped by the side of the road. We got out and went over there. But you don't want to be broke over here, guys. It's just too much you want to do over here. Todd Johnson says, do Philippine women love you unconditionally, rich or poor? I'll let Esmeralda answer that first.
Okay, so when it comes to rich and poor, of course, if you already had that emotional relationship with that person, rich or poor, we would love you unconditionally. If you have that emotional relationship, but if you don't,
Already, yeah.
let's say bye bye.
Yeah. Now, the initial attraction to foreigners is what, Esmeralda? Because I want you to tell us. I'm sure they're tired of me saying it, but the initial attraction that a Filipino has to a foreign man, especially somebody older who's not as handsome as Roger or some of them other young guys your age. What's the initial attraction?
I would say is basically communication. For me, it's all about communication.
No, I mean, Why would a Filipino want to date a foreign man? Isn't it money or something, or a better life or
Um,
something?
Frankly, it would be money, of course. Most of
Yeah,
women that would try to search for a foreigner guy, for instance, is they didn't have they are not lucky with Filipinos. They were a single mom and they got emotionally traumatized by Filipinos. That is one of the reason. Another reason is they just want security. Am I right, Rudy?
Oh yeah, that's correct. You're absolutely positively correct. Because remember now, I'm over here considered a foreigner because of the fact that uh, uh, I was born here. I have a U.S. citizenship, but I do not have a Filipino passport. So that means that when I enter the Philippines, I'm considered a foreigner, especially my English and the way I talk. So when I go there, yeah, they if they find out that when I speak and so forth, yeah, they they know who to look for. They know exactly who to look for. My cousins and my relatives always introduce me to someone brand new, and they immediately say, "Oh, you're from?" Yes, I am. But you are correct regarding that. They look for that all the time. If you can find someone that's actually genuine, right? It's if I do a what you might call a reverse on it, where I speak Tagalog all the time, and I don't speak one word of English. Uh, I can find I can actually find a person or a lady that will actually only look for an emotional attachment instead of monetary or finance in the
Yes, I would
situation.
say so too. Because when it comes to financial reason, of course, guys, come on. Why would a Filipina search for a foreigner if there's a lot of fishes here? Young, the same as like the way we speak. Why would we try to search for someone that we have like lack of communication? Not all Filipinas can speak English.
the yeah. I'm
We
sorry.
can sorry.
Mhm.
I'm
We
sorry.
can
The phone got hot.
okay.
Okay. All right. Hey, Kano, thanks for that super chat. He said, you guys need to check out Nicaragua. He said, Lord have mercy. Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
I was actually trying to say, Calvin, that of course, being a Filipina, to be honest, we would date a foreigner for financial stability, but not all of us. Again, not all
yeah,
of us. Okay.
yeah. But uh, I've never, I mean, why would you want to meet somebody that lives so far away from you? And you can't go and see them. How many of your friends have a tourist visa to America, Esmeralda?
I would say because I work in the call center for 8 years already. Most of them has tourist visa, except me and
No,
Roger.
I mean to the United States.
Yes, they do. Most of them has a tourist visa.
Well, how did they get it?
Like most of them are applying for it because most of call centers are really addicted to travel. But if you are like asking for regular people, of course, not all of us has like a scale
Right,
to 100. I guess 70% of us doesn't have a tourist visa. 30% has.
right. Because if it was so easy, everybody would have one and everybody would leave. Is that right?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, of course. If you could get a tourist visa so easy, what's stopping you from going to America and not coming back? Because I've got a friend over there where now she came over on a tourist visa and she didn't come back. What she did, she got a job and she ended up meeting a guy. He was a Mexican American. They had a child, and then she overstayed her visa, so she had to go out and get a lawyer and get all of that taken care of. But She never came back, and she's not leaving now. She says she's afraid she won't get back in, even though she's got like whatever the visa is she's got now.
Calvin,
She's got a green card.
you know the shortcut of getting in a U.S. citizenship or a U.S. citizenship if you were a green card holder, right?
What's that?
Go into the military.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
That's
yeah,
what my ex-wife did. As soon as
yeah.
she got out of boot camp in the Air Force, she got her U.S. citizenship just like that. Because as you know, when you fight for the country, you have to be a citizen of that country. So she
Wow,
got
that's great. That's great information, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got it as soon as she got out. They swore her in, and she became a U.S. citizen. Of course, she has to denounce the Filipino side, but yeah, she got it without paying one red cent.
Yeah. Well, I know, I used to date a woman from Cuba. She didn't pay for anything. She flew from Spain to Mexico, walked across the border. She knew she was going to get caught, and her and her daughter, they got caught. But by her being a Cuban citizen, they didn't send her back. Everything was paid for. She's a U.S. citizen now. Has never worked in America, but she's receiving her disability. She gets food stamps. She gets the whole 9 yards. But we're talking about the Philippines. And I know for a fact that a lot of people here do not have their tourist visa. What's the requirements, Esmeralda? Why is it so hard?
Maybe because of the process, it would take some time. And, most Filipinos, they don't really have the patience to process everything. Because for us, most of the places to process the tourist visa are really far away from each other. And
Okay,
of
but
course, mhm.
let me ask you this then. Uh, when you're saying a lot of regular people don't have them, see, I've got a lot of subscribers. They want to pay for this tourist visa and everything for their girlfriends, but they're getting turned down. Why is that?
Okay. When it comes to actually tourist visa, you need to endorse yourself. Like you need to go to the embassy for it to process, and I would say it's really hassle.
Well, Calvin, I know
Yeah.
one
But what
reason.
about
I know
isn't there
one.
requirement? But isn't there requirements though? Is what I'm saying. Don't you have to have some connections to the country in order for you to come back? Like, say for
Yes,
instance, like Maryland now has this house and lot. It
yes,
would be a whole
Yes.
lot easier for her to get a
yes,
tourist visa because
yeah.
they say, hey, if you don't come back, we're going to take this house and lot, or whatever it is, a certain amount of money in the bank.
Or even a
Um,
job like a doctor,
yeah,
lawyer, a financial institution, something that ties you back to the Philippines so that you
right.
have to return. That's the only way that I know because I have friends that are in high places that have tourist visas that come to Guam, right? And the only way
Yeah,
that they can get it is that they had to have something tied back to the country, like a house, car, whatever, something that's
Yes.
tangible that they can see.
Yes,
right.
and that's
Now,
that's that's the reason why they always get declined for their
right. That's what
girlfriend.
I was trying to get. That's what I was trying to get at. Now, I know people in the call center industry, they're some of the top earners, right, among just regular people here. And a lot of them have houses and stuff, right? Cars and stuff. See,
Yes.
but Stan Hasselback, this is the point I make all the time. He says, wanting to live a better life isn't a sin. Security is important for all women. She's just being honest. Don't demonize it. As a man, you should be happy this is true. I don't know who, I guess you're just talking to men in general because this is the point I make all the time, Stan, is that Filipinos, we shouldn't um, uh, put the Filipino down for wanting a better life. We all want a better life, but we seem to criticize her for it or something. Uh,
That's true. I would think it about this way. This is like how I ask questions for other people. Would you date a man that you would not get a stable life? Would you date a man that would just sit there and do nothing? Would you date a man that doesn't provide food for you if
yeah.
you're a woman?
Now, a lot of times, from the relationships I see over here, a lot of times they meet when they're younger. And
Yes.
so they stay together, and then, um, but Moochie T said it, Calvin, I think it's clear as day. Yeah, but sometimes it's not as clear as you think it is, Moochie T. That's why I wanted Esmeralda to say it. Because when I say it, people think, oh, it's not true. A woman wants me for
Oops, Calvin. Calvin.
connection. Uh,
You're cutting,
I'm
Calvin.
just
You're
wanting
cutting.
people to really be okay with it, Moochie T. Because a lot of us are not okay with it. We think that uh, we're somehow the exception and that we can somehow come over here and get something for nothing. Todd Johnson says overseas workers have tourist visas. No, they have a work visa.
Yes, they do. OFWs.
I
Oops.
think Calvin. I think Calvin has a bad connection.
No, it's his phone. His phone overheated again.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, most of OFW has a working visa. They would undergo companies so that they can. It would be a less hassle for them for the process. Because if they would do the working visa by themselves without the backup of a company, it would take years.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
true. I have a friend in Hong Kong that does that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
the one that's she is a maid for one of the wealthy families over there.
Wow. I think
Very wealthy.
I've heard in Hong Kong that if you have a company there, most of the Hong Kong's government would own it instead of you, they say.
Yeah, pretty much. Because where my friend works, the she works for the family. The husband is a real estate lawyer, and the wife is an actress.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's they're very well to do. If I show you the dog that she takes care of, you're like, oh god, the dog alone is worth 50,000 pesos.
Uh,
One
no
dog,
way.
yeah, pure white. Uh, you'll fall in love with the dog. I guarantee you. It's so
Yeah,
cute.
I love dogs,
Yeah, you
but
love
I
this
would
dog.
not spend 50,000 for a dog.
You'll love this dog. Trust me, it's worth it.
Hey,
His
I
name is
apologize, guys. I apologize. This is stupid connection over here. I'm working as hard as I can to get my internet on, but it's the Philippines.
yeah.
That's one thing about being in the Philippines.
Oh, Calvin,
It's
do you
things
have
don't
PLD?
move.
Do you have
Things
PLDT or
don't.
Go or Smart?
Well, I don't have either right now. I'm working on data
Uh-huh.
because
It's starting to go bad.
One more time, Calvin. You cut out.
yeah, I know. I'm saying I'm trying to get my internet connection as soon as I can. Uh, but it's the Philippines, and things
Yeah.
move like a snail's pace over here, and
Uh-huh.
there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I can't go to the people. Like if I was in America, I'd go there and I'd be like, "Hey, look, give me my damn internet and blah 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 this blah blah that." You try that over here, and you're gonna get deported. I promise you. You better not try that here. I'm sorry.
Unless you talk Tagalog to them, Calvin, or Visayan.
Yeah, you bet not, man.
Uh,
But yeah, it's crazy. I need my connection, man, because I can't even deal on this phone. It's so hard for me to deal with this phone. It's so small.
oh, there we go again.
All yeah, okay. Okay, Calvin and Esmeralda, he says, I was still wanting you to address the reality of being introduced to women there when you may not know anyone uh, that well. And Ismail saying that you can't directly speak. Well, I addressed this before, Mr. K. Wherever you're staying, the hotel that you're staying, see, in the Philippines, they've got this sense of community. Once they see you 2 or 3 times, it's like they know you. I don't know why, but it's a quality that they've got. It's called familiarity.
Yes.
So when you go to your hotel and the people that are working in the restaurant, the woman at the front desk, the security guards, they can introduce you to people, and they will. John's got experience with that. I've got experience with that. But I gave you a scenario to do before. Okay, you want to go to Jollibee. You go and if you see a woman in there that works there or in the mall, and you go and you let her wait on you every day for 2 days. On that third day, then you can talk to her. She's going to be familiar with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice strategy, Calvin.
That's how you do it, because Filipinos, they're like that. They meet you the first time, it's like they've been knowing you forever, man. That's why this girlfriend experience is so powerful over here. Yes, it is. If you're chatting with a woman, I don't care for how long, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, when you get over here and you meet her, it's going to be like y'all been knowing each other forever. Sam Champion said, and Mr. K. Calvin's correct. Ask the people in the hotels, you'll have connection the same night. It's true. But don't run up on the women here. They're gonna, you're going to get embarrassed. Christoph Wolfgang said Filipinos play shy to see if you have the courage to pursue. Well, Esmeralda says, is that true, Esmeralda, or false?
We don't play shy. We're really shy.
Yeah.
That's a genuinely personality of Filipino. We are shy. We only open up if and only if you already spend a week talking to us or 3 days talking to us. Then we open up.
Yeah. But it's a good strategy to do that. Big D says you've got to learn living in a third world country. You can't expect too much. Yeah. Well, again, you're right. This isn't the convenience that I'm used to. It's not here, but I've gotten used to it. Now, the guy I was talking to the other day, he hasn't gotten used to it, but I was saying he should be used to it by now. He's been here longer than me. And I said, because he gave me his own answer, I said, if you already know all of this, why do you still let it bother you? See, I don't let it bother me anymore. I know it is what it is. I'm just got to wait until they finally get over here. Same with my electricity, man. Imagine. I'm going on 2 weeks I'm living here, actually, using the neighbor's electricity. Cal David says shyness only goes so far. Easy to speak. Yeah, but what I've noticed is, though, the Filipinos, I tell you, they are shy, they're bashful, man. And I give it a few days, at least let her see me.
Calvin, there's a thing that I noticed is that as he's right regarding shy, because when I speak to, or I know when I go on those dating sites, right, I notice that the true Filipinas are the ones who actually talk to me and are are very shy or they don't want to question and so forth. But the ones that actually come at me and ask me this and so forth like that are the ones that are going to ask me for money.
Yeah, I know this though. Let me ask you this, Esmeralda. Why is it the Filipinos ask so many questions? I mean, it drives me crazy. That's one of the reasons why I can't chat too long with Filipinos online because they're just shooting questions at you. They don't even give you a chance to answer one question or asking another, and then they ask just personal questions like, uh, "Who filed for divorce?" and they'll ask stuff like that, like, you know, "Why did you break up with your girlfriend or your wife?"
Yeah, they ask questions because they want to know more about you. They don't want to choose a person that they don't know the background. Because most of the like news, fake news in like foreigners right now, as I said, Filipinas are really cautious in what they choose because they don't want ending up. I think most of people don't want to end up with a wrong person. So that's what Filipinos are. They want to know more about you. They don't want to just choose a person that they think that it's not the right person for them. That's the reason why they ask questions. Because for me, of course, if I want to know about you, of course I would ask questions, but I prefer a story type question because I've been talking to a lot of Americans right now, or not only Americans but foreigners, and I know how they think about questions. So I prefer to do a story type question, so that it's like a hidden question, not a direct question.
Yeah, G. Rich, this has a lot to do with their religious beliefs over here
True.
because Filipinos are Roman Catholic, and you know how the Catholic Church is when it comes to birth control and all of that. So that's really where that comes from. Uh, you know, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Esmeralda.
Yeah, I would say so too. If you say using like these types of birth control, yeah, it's against our religious
Beliefs.
overview. Yeah, religious belief.
Even
So
even condoms, right? But I
yeah,
see there in Manila though that in a lot of places they've got these organizations that are going around. They're distributing condoms and they're also distributing to the young ladies who want it. That what is that? What do they call that? That birth control that they put in your arm. What do they call
okay. It's what do
it?
you call that, ate?
It's some kind of shot that they're offering women over
I
here, man.
forgot. I forgot. I don't like that. It's too
Yeah,
painful.
Roy Jones said you. Yeah, Roy Jones said use the neighbor's internet. They don't have internet. The reason we're using their electric, the reason we're using their electricity is because they don't use electricity. They really don't use it. That's why we're using it. Yeah, it's an implant uh, that they're offering a lot of women here because teenage pregnancy is a problem all around the world, not just here. I mean, it's all around the world. I had a daughter that had a baby. Hadn't turned 15 yet. I could have killed her, really, but it was nothing that I could do. I mean, um, women mature faster than me. And my daughter was sneaking out of my house while I was asleep at night, going to see her boyfriend, who, by the way, was 17, about to turn 18. She was 14. You know, um, I don't know, man. It's just, but they're trying to do the best that they can over here. Um, but it's a problem worldwide. These young women, especially nowadays, because the young women they're more aggressive than these young guys. Imagine a 14-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. Who's older? The 14-year-old, especially a 16-year-old girl here versus, I can see it. I see it all the time. The 16-year-old boy, he's still like a baby. But the girls, some of them have children already. Yeah, but you know, he said I would have whooped that behind. But I mean, the damage was already done. By the time I knew what she was doing, she was already pregnant. I mean, so then I have to, because they're so emotionally, they're so young and they're emotionally, they haven't even developed yet, man. If I'd have came down too far on her, man, hell, maybe she'd have committed suicide or something. Okay, Black Gamma, I think you can answer this yourself. But here's a question he wants to ask you, Esmeralda. He says, is the standards of dating a man different from a Filipino man and an American man?
It really depends on the woman, actually. Really depends, though. Every woman
But I
has a
mean,
standard.
as far as, okay, I know in the Filipino culture, there's this courting ritual that goes on, right? Do y'all still do that in your age, in your generation?
For me, you already know. Roger spent 2 years waiting for me. So I go with the
Yeah,
old
see,
generation.
yeah. So, but a lot of times now with the foreigner, it's different. He's not waiting 2 years, right?
Yeah, definitely. So
So it's a
that
difference.
it's really a different because we like it slowly. We like to know
Yeah.
more about you. That's the reason why we ask questions.
Yeah, they asked a lot of questions. I mean, it drives me crazy. I was like, I got to get off here. I'll be there next week because you asking too many damn questions.
So yeah, I would say that is a really huge step for us. So if a Filipina would ask you several questions and you are ready for it, why not? Just tell them frankly, what would you want?
Yeah. Now, Ronald Bowden says, you know, I heard Brian Philly in Philippines scam story about losing all of his furniture and household things when he came back. Filipina and her boyfriend took it all and ran to the province. Now, see, this is where I talk about he was unlucky. You can't get lucky over here because most of the women, the overwhelming majority of women you meet, they're going to be who they say they are. They're going to be good women, trustworthy and honest. But you can get unlucky, and that's why I share my experiences. I try to make it to, I don't want anybody to come over and get unlucky because when it's bad over here, it's bad, as you can see by this. But majority of the time, when you meet a woman over here, she's who she says she is. But yeah, you can get unlucky, man. I tell you, that's crazy. Pamplona Kid says, Pamplona Kid says, Calvin, please tell Esmeralda that in case she breaks up with her boyfriend, I'll be the first in line as applying for a replacement. Well, I think Rudy's first in line. I see the way you looking at Esmeralda, Rudy.
I'm looking at you. That's the only thing.
Really?
I have no other choice but to look at the screen because you're there, Calvin.
I know, I'm just joking with you, Rudy. Come on.
You know,
Yeah.
if my significant other is watching this, you're gonna be in trouble.
Well, you're dating a young lady now, right, Rudy?
Yes, I am.
How old is she?
24.
Okay, yeah, so are you going to send her to the service too, or what?
No way. I'm gonna retire there.
Okay, now now give us some more information on that story. Victor, Iskandari Television said the reason that she wasn't into you and said you wasn't giving it to her right.
Okay, let me tell you this. Okay, when things happen, as in my son was born, right? She was in postpartum depression for 3 years, which means that she was on my case and she didn't want to do this, especially getting intimate and so forth for 3 years. So
Three
after
years.
those
So why
for
did you
three
stay
years,
with her?
I loved her. What am I going to do?
So
If you
what was
love
you
somebody,
doing
Calvin,
for the whole
yeah,
3 years?
oh, what you call this? I just waited. I mean, even though I had urges and so forth, I can't do anything because you have to be faithful to your wife, and that's
Yeah,
what.
but you told us that you found out that she was doing something.
Well, this is what happened after so many things that happened and everything else. I noticed that after the seventh year of our marriage, right, she was so distant from me, and that she was not what you might call asking me to be intimate. That I started to get fishy, and also that's when she called in. Telling me that, hey, why don't I join the
I'm
service?
sorry, guys. This is just so ridiculous. Let me see if I can get a better position.
Esme, if you heard my story, you'll be laughing like heck.
Yeah, I would say that
I
would
had
be
so many bad.
interesting.
Even though she was like that, I still loved her no matter what, because
Wow.
if you
But
fall in
but
love with
didn't you?
somebody, that's it.
Yeah, but didn't you say that she was doing something?
Yes, she was. Now, after the seventh year, like I said, right, I noticed that she was being not intimate, and the question was brought up after my mother passed away, after everybody else passed away, including my mother. That, hey, why don't I join the military so that I can be, so that we can go travel abroad and everything else? And I said, in my mind, I said, you know what? Okay, I guess that's a good thing, and so forth like that. I said, okay, fine. So she went into training. She wanted to go into the Navy, but then the Air Force took her in because of her 140 IQ, and she passed the ASVAB test with very flying colors. So they took her into that. But once that happened, right, she was all training with a guy from the Navy, a Filipino guy from the Navy. So she would be all the
Yeah.
time with him and so forth. So I found out to be very, very weird. So I GPS the car, and I found out where they went.
And what
That's how I found
happened?
out she was cheating. And then the other evidence of that she was cheating was that on our
Hey,
island,
I want to
there's only two
apologize,
people.
guys.
There's only
I
two
just
people
don't
on the
have a good
island.
signal, man.
Oh,
Hopefully, by my next live stream,
it'll
I'm
be
going to
better.
have my internet because
Mm,
I don't like this. I'm sorry, and y'all deserve better.
yeah. Well, let me try to continue, Calvin. After what you call this, after what happened and everything else, what you call this, I found that the other evidence that I knew she was cheating was that when it came time to almost go into the military, as in going for boot camp training, she was acting funny, as in she was throwing up in the morning, which I know Esme knows. If you throw up in the morning, sooner or later, you're going to be in trouble, right? So
Yeah.
she decided to go and check out her OBGYN, right? Which, by in fact, is the best on our island when she had our son. And then all of a sudden, she changed her mind and went with the only two
Okay.
doctors on island that will perform an abortion.
Oh no.
So what happened was is that I questioned her to the point that said, "Hey, why did you go to that person who does an abortion, and you could have gone to the best doctor on the island to do your pap smear?" And I'm like, "Isn't that simple?" And then she goes, "No, no, no, no. They just took too long." That's her excuse. And then next thing you know, her medication was the one for abortion that they
Yeah.
took. And then after that, just to make sure, I questioned my friend who worked at the
I'm
at
using my
the
card.
hospital. I mean, at the clinic. That my
I'm not
friend told
using
me that she
cash.
couldn't tell me because of HIPAA, which is a law that says you can't give private information.
Hmm.
What happened? But let me
I'm
ask you
going
this:
now.
if if she just got a pap smear, don't you think my friend would tell me that she just got a pap smear?
Mhm.
See?
Well, I tell you what, you put up with a lot that I wouldn't put up with, Rudy.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, look, I'm gonna get off here, man. This connection is really messed up. I
Okay.
apologize. But my next live stream on Thursday, I'm gonna have internet connection or get deported. Either one. So because I can't deal with this, man. All this in and out, and man, we get a good connection, then it goes out. So I want to thank y'all for the super chats, the super stickers. I want to thank y'all for your patience
No
with
problem.
me, because y'all know I just moved in here. Everything's not the way it's going to be, but it will be. I'm gonna get it up and running. And thanks to my guest, Rudy, Esmeralda. I'm gonna give you 1 minute, Rudy. Not a. We don't want a biography. Give us
Okay.
some closing. Give us some closing statements. And same with you, Esmeralda.
Well, for me, guys, just be careful who you see and what you and don't be surprised at the questions like Esme said because of the fact that yeah they are curious and so forth, right? And the more questions they ask, the better you'll be because as they say, knowing is half the battle, as in GI Joe. So if they know you, they'll love you.
Yeah.
Okay, Esmeralda. Give us something.
Again, guys, visit our YouTube channel, Roger Ask Me Vlogs, and yeah, when it comes to questioning, yeah, that's normal for Filipinas, but don't give all of